Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Naruto's secret harem was Mikoto, Tayuya and Kurenai? Part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. The last of the training dummies becomes engulfed in a shroud of black flames. The caster exhales, his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan reverting to his normal black eye color. Well done, Naruto. You would make your great-grandfather proud. The 10-year-old Uchiha Naruto nods in response to his father, Fugaku. Thank you father. He says. When is Oni-sama coming home? Fugaku responds. Itachi is still handling his Anbu duties. He is out on a mission and won't be back for the week. Naruto is saddened by this. He didn't say anything to me again. Does Oni-sama hate me, Otu-sama? Fugaku frowns at Naruto's question. While he isn't the kindest or most sheltering of parents, he still cares for his sons. No, Naruto. I don't think your brother would ever hate you. Right now, he's just conflicted. Naruto is confused at the last part of his father's answer. Conflicted. About what? Otu-sama. Fugaku sighs. There are things happening within our family right now, Naruto. Things your brother does not agree with. While I can't tell you what is happening, I want you to make a promise to me, Naruto. Naruto is even more confused about his father's words. But regardless, he agrees. Hi, Otu-sama. Fugaku smiles. Naruto, more than anything, I love you, your brother, and your mother. Promise me, Naruto. Promise me that no matter what happens to me, you protect them. No matter what they do, protect them. Promise me. Naruto doesn't know what his father could possibly mean. He wonders why his father would make such a strange request. But again, he accepts his father's wishes. Hi, Otu-sama. I swear I'll protect Oni-sama and Okawa-sama. I always will. With everything in my body. Fugaku smiles and nods. He stands up from his Seiza position. Wait here, Naruto. Naruto nods as his father disappears back into the main house. A moment later, he returns carrying a scroll. Walking over to Naruto, he hands it to him. This scroll contains our most powerful and treasured jutsu, Naruto. It also contains the secret behind the Sharingan as well as the kata for our most elite taijutsu, the Raven Stance. I never gave this scroll to your brother because I felt he wasn't right to lead the clan. However, Naruto, I know that I can trust you with this. My son, you are only 10 years old yet you have shown that you will carry our clan into a new era, one where the Uchiha name is respected and honored once more. I entrust this scroll to you. Master its contents and protect our family. Do not give in to hatred and always remain kind. I love you, son. Fugaku ruffles Naruto's hair and smiles. He then turns and goes back into the house, leaving Naruto to read and learn from the scroll. Opening the scroll, Naruto sits and reads the history behind the Sharingan, specifically his. The article describes the history of the Uchiha clan dating back to Indra Otsutsuki, eldest son of Hagoromo Otsutsuki. Indra was the progenitor of the Uchiha clan and only his direct descendants can inherit the truest power of the Sharingan. He learns the reason why he gained the power of the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan is because he is a direct descendant of Indra through his mother. For Indra's descendants, the eternal Mangekyo can be awakened through training. The only other way to awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan is by extreme emotional trauma, and using the lesser version of the Mangekyo will lead to blindness. By taking the eyes of another Uchiha who has awakened the Mangekyo, however, you can gain the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. This practice, though, is extremely taboo to the clan. Naruto accepts the revelations rather easily and creates a group of shadow clones. He begins practicing the Raven Kata along with the powerful fire and lightning jutsus on the scroll. Later that day, Naruto goes to check on his mother and spend time with her. He finds his mother, Mikoto, in one of the sitting rooms, drinking tea. She speaks to him. Ah, Naruto-kun. I see your father has given you the inheritance scroll. Naruto takes a seat across from his mother. He has, mother. And, I honestly wasn't too surprised. He chuckles while scratching the back of his head sheepishly. Naruto is very close to his mother and is much more comfortable and less reserved around her. Obviously, he's close to his father too, but he knows to be much more formal around him. I was honestly more intrigued to learn the techniques within the scroll. The history was surprising, but it's not like a bad thing or something I can change. Mikoto chuckles. Unlike most Uchiha, Naruto is very kind and warm. He and Shisui are the more outgoing and relatable Uchiha family members. Naruto's mother prefers his attitude over his brother's cold and distant demeanor. Mikoto smiles warmly at Naruto. Naruto-kun, I have something else to give you too. Naruto is surprised at his mother. She gets to her feet and walks over to the closet behind her, pulling out a long case. Opening it, she reveals a large kama, a scythe. This kama belonged to my grandfather. She looks at Naruto. Madara. Naruto's eyes widen. He was a complicated man. Despite that, he was one of the most powerful shinobi in history. This kama was one of his weapons. I want you to have it. Master it, wield it, protect your loved ones with it, Naruto-kun. I believe that you will surpass my grandfather one day, Naruto-kun. I believe in you. She pulls him into a warm hug which he reciprocates. Hi, I will, Okawa-sama. Naruto says, a tear rolling down his cheek. I love you, Sochi. I love you too, Okawa-sama. 4 years later, Naruto, age 14. The years roll by and Naruto has entered into the academy. Opting to go the full term and attend normally instead of graduating earlier, gaining rank quickly like his brother, Naruto is still easily the top rank in the class. According to most shinobi, Naruto is easily on par with his older brother, some say stronger. Naruto has mastered the jutsu from the inheritance scroll, mastered the Raven Kata, and mastered the use of his kama, which is currently strapped to his back. His appearance has changed as well. Naruto now stands at 5 feet 8 inches, his spiky black hair now reaches down almost to his mid-back. He wears a form-fitting long-sleeve black shirt, black Anbu-style pants with tactical boots, and a charcoal gray jacket unzipped with black fingerless gloves. Currently, Naruto is walking home from having dinner with some of his classmates. Upon reaching the Uchiha district, Naruto is mortified at what he finds. Bodies of his clan members litter the streets of his family's district. The stench of blood is heavy in the air. He panics, turning to try to find help. Suddenly, he hears an explosion. Rushing to the source, Naruto finds his mother in a defensive stance, eternal Mangekyo ablaze. Facing her is his brother, Itachi. His eternal Mangekyo is activated as well. Okawa-sama, Oni-sama, what are you doing? Naruto shouts, rushing to the fight. The two engage again, both attacking with ninjutsu, sparks flying with the echo of the blades ringing in the air. Mikoto lands a strike that knocks Itachi off balance and she takes the opportunity to launch a one-seal fireball. Itachi evades but the blast still damages him. You're still unable to beat me, Itachi-kun. Don't forget that I'm the only kunoichi in the world that could match Kushina-chan. Mikoto says, glaring at Itachi who is obviously winded. Just then, Naruto appears in between them, kama in hand. Okawa-sama, what happened? Why are you and Oni-sama fighting? He demands. Itachi uses the distraction to shunshin away, to Mikoto's ire. Shit. She curses. Naruto is tearing up, wondering what happened and why his mother is so distressed. Okawa-sama, please tell me what happened. He pleads with her. Turning, Mikoto looks at Naruto before pulling him into a hug. Sochi, she begins. I need you to keep calm. Your brother. I caught him doing something terrible. Naruto begins crying, praying that what he fears isn't true. Sochi, your brother betrayed us. No, 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 no. Naruto repeats over and over again. I'm sorry, Sochi. I couldn't stop him before he killed Fugaku-kun. I'm so sorry, Naruto-kun. Mikoto, coming down from her adrenaline high, begins crying as well. While she was able to stop Itachi from killing all the clan members, he managed to kill the elders and Fugaku along with many other clan members. There are now only between 20 to 30 members left. Why? Ka-san. Why? Why would Oni-sama do this? Naruto shouts. I don't know, Sochi. I don't know, but we will find out. I need you to stay strong though. Okay. Don't do anything stupid. I need you to be strong. You're all I have left, Naruto-kun. Naruto nods. As he calms down, the Hokage and his Anbu arrived to find out what happened. After taking both Mikoto's and Naruto's statements, the Hokage takes them to a hotel for the night while they investigate the scene. To their surprise, they were informed that Naruto's cousin, Satsuki, actually survived. Satsuki is the daughter of a distant relative of Naruto's and one of his closest childhood friends and one of his classmates at the academy. In their room, Naruto decides to try to find out what Mikoto knows. Okawa-sama, does this have anything to do with why Itachi started acting strange and distancing himself from us in the past few years? Mikoto is surprised by Naruto's question. Sighing, she decides to tell Naruto the truth. She begins by explaining his father's predicament with the Uchiha elders, how they wanted to overthrow the Hokage and take control of Konoha. She stated that by doing so would no doubt throw Konoha into a civil war, thereby weakening the village which other villages would take advantage of and likely invade. She told Naruto that Fugaku was against the idea and wanted no part in a coup, whereas the elders were going to go ahead with the plan with or without Fugaku, threatening him if he tried to stop them. The whole ordeal threw the Uchiha clan in turmoil, and when Itachi found out about the elders' plan to take over Konoha, he went to the Hokage with it. That was all Mikoto knew, and she figured that he was given the mission to slaughter the family by the elders. Naruto was furious that the Hokage ordered Itachi to do so. Naruto, in a fit of rage, threatened to go kill the Hokage himself. No, Naruto, listen, it's likely that Itachi volunteered to be the one to do it himself. You know Minato-kun would never order Itachi-kun to harm us. I'm willing to suspect that damned elder council pressured him into it. Naruto stopped in his tracks and turned to look at his mother. What? Why, Ka-san? Why would Itachi volunteer to kill his whole family? Mikoto looks down. Knowing Itachi, he likely felt some sort of responsibility to do so. Maybe he felt that by doing so he could redeem himself and the Uchihas. Mikoto explains. She knows that deep down, beneath that cold exterior, her son is a good person. He'd never do something like this without a good reason. Naruto, on the other hand, decides to ponder the situation. He then recalls the words his father said to him. He steels himself and tells his mother, Okawa-sama, I'm going to save Itachi. Mikoto is confused by Naruto's words. What do you mean, Sochi? She asks. Itachi-Nisan probably blames himself and feels guilty somehow. I know he's a missing nin now, but I want to bring him back and save him. It's what father would want me to do. Mikoto bursts into tears and pulls Naruto into a loving hug once more. The two embrace one another to comfort each other. Just then, they hear a knock on the door. Naruto gets up and walks to the door and opens it, revealing Satsuki. Satsuki-chan, I'm happy you're okay. What brings you here though? Naruto asks. Satsuki wears her hair in a short, spiky ponytail with two long bangs framing her face and shorter bangs covering her forehead. She is only about 3 inches shorter than Naruto, who himself admits that she is quite beautiful. She has an athletic frame that sacrifices no femininity. Naruto also notes that she is developing well. She fidgets a bit before answering. Can I stay with you and Oba-chan tonight? I don't want to be alone. Naruto and Mikoto are surprised by the girl's answer. Mikoto smiles and answers, "Of course, sweetie. Come on in and make yourself comfortable." Satsuki nods and walks in. The three talk well into the night before Satsuki decides to reveal something to Mikoto and Naruto. Oba-chan, Naruto-kun, something happened to me tonight. Mikoto and Naruto both suspect they know what she means. I think I awakened my Mangekyo. Mikoto nods. Okay, Satsuki-chan. Try activating it again. Satsuki nods and channels chakra into her eyes, activating her fully matured Sharingan. She channels even more chakra into her eyes and they begin spinning, slowly morphing to reveal her Mangekyo. Mikoto is happy for Satsuki but understands the price it took to awaken the eyes. I honestly don't know whether to congratulate you or give you my condolences, Satsuki-chan. I can only imagine what you suffered through to awaken those eyes. Mikoto notices the tears falling from Satsuki's Mangekyo. She decides to try to help her as much as possible and knows the exact way how. Deciding to turn in for the night, the three prepare for bed. But Satsuki decides to ask a surprising question. Can I sleep with Naruto tonight? The question catches Naruto and Mikoto off guard. Mikoto giggles and approves, much to Naruto's dismay. As Naruto and Satsuki climb into bed and settle in, Naruto fidgets, unable to get comfortable. Damn it. I can't go to sleep like this. Satsuki is way too cute to be sleeping with me like this. Naruto thinks in his head. Naruto. Satsuki says, surprising Naruto. He turns over before speaking to look at her. Yeah, Satsuki, what's wrong? Catching him off guard again, Satsuki buries her face into Naruto's chest and cries. Naruto is shocked but understands that she probably kept a lot of sadness held in. She lost both of her parents and her older brother tonight. Naruto wraps his arms around her and rubs her back, comforting her. It's okay, Satsuki. Let it out. I'm here for you. Satsuki continues crying until she falls asleep. Naruto holds her the entire time. The two fall asleep in each other's embrace, much to Mikoto's amusement in the morning. A few days later, Mikoto was approached by her cousin, Obito and his wife Rin. The two were out on a mission and heard the news when they returned. Obito took the news really hard, especially the news of his little brother Shisui's death. He wished he was there to help stop Itachi, not knowing what could have brought this on. Mikoto comforted him and told him not to blame himself. Obito and Rin let Mikoto know that they'll always help if she ever needs it, and Mikoto promised to find the truth of what happened and tell them. After sharing hugs, Mikoto left the couple to make plans for the funeral. A week after the mass funeral, Naruto decides to go back to the academy. He and Satsuki are walking together. Mikoto decided to take Satsuki in herself, although Satsuki didn't want to because she felt she might be imposing. Naruto and Mikoto managed to convince her. Mikoto became clan head and she informed Satsuki that eventually, Naruto will become clan head and need to restore the family. Satsuki didn't want to impose on Mikoto and Naruto, one of her arguments being that she was just a branch family member and she would just be a nuisance to her and Naruto. Mikoto decided to tease her a bit. Well, all you need to do is marry Naruto-kun and you'll become an official member of the main family. This caused Satsuki to become beet red and develop a nosebleed before fainting. Mikoto can be very devious at times. As the two walk to the academy, Naruto and Satsuki notice the villagers staring at them. Why do they keep staring at us, Naruto-kun? Satsuki asks. I don't know, Satsuki-chan. It's weirding me out though. Naruto answers. Feeling slightly unnerved, Satsuki walks closer to Naruto. Naruto smiles and takes her hand, causing her to blush. He then focuses chakra into his ears, listening to the murmuring of the villagers. Naruto-sama. It's Naruto-sama. Look, it's Satsuki-sama too. Be good to them, they're the hope of Konoha. Sama. Hope of Konoha. What the hell is going on? Naruto asks himself. Satsuki notices Naruto's expressions and becomes worried. She squeezes his hand. What's wrong, Naruto-kun? She asks. Naruto sighs. The villagers, they're acting weird. Calling us, Sama, and, the hope of Konoha. It's really creepy. Satsuki frowns at this too. She knows this isn't how the Uchiha clan is usually treated. This also isn't how she wants to be treated. Suddenly, an Anbu with a bear mask appears in a shunshin. Naruto-sama, Satsuki-sama. The council requires your presence. Naruto and Satsuki narrows their eyes at this. They nod. As they enter into the council room, they notice that the clan heads seem irritated while the civilian council members seem excited. He also notices the Hokage there, glaring intently at the civilian council. One of the civilian councilmen stands and greets Naruto and Satsuki. Naruto-sama, Satsuki-sama, welcome. Before we begin, we, the civilian council, would like to offer our deepest condolences for the tragedies that have befallen you this past week. Naruto notices his mother taking the seat of the Uchiha clan head. He notices she narrows her eyes at these words. Naruto decides to play nice for now, but notices that Satsuki grips his hand a bit tighter. She's nervous. Naruto gives her hand a gentle squeeze to try to reassure her. Turning to the council, he bows before saying, "Thank you, councilman. Your words are appreciated." The councilman smiles before sitting down. The Hokage takes the center now. Clearing his throat, he speaks. This meeting is now in session. Now, what did the civilian council deem so important as to call us here for? The Hokage is clearly irritated at the civilian council. This time, a fat councilman decides to speak. Hokage-sama, we believe that due to the events of the past week, we should help the Uchiha heir as much as possible to restore his clan. Clearly, he must desire vengeance for what the traitor has done to his clan. We would like to offer. He's cut off by a potent wave of killing intent flooding the room. Naruto is infuriated at the audacity of the council. Before, his clan was met with distrust. But now they want to kiss up to them. That isn't how Naruto wants to lead his clan. You people disgust me. For generations, our clan has supported this village even though you people hated us. We were blamed for the actions of my great-grandfather even though we remained loyal to Konoha. And now that this has happened, you people want to kiss our and try to make up. Naruto's killing intent at this point has caused most civilian council members to pass out. It's also caused most of the shinobi council to freeze up, unable to move. Naruto-kun, calm down. Naruto hears Satsuki shout, hugging him from behind. He reels in his killing intent and sighs. He places a hand on her arms, letting her know everything is okay. He then turns his attention to the council. I don't want your help nor do I need it. My clan will carry on as it always has. As for Itachi, that is for me to worry about and me alone. I will be the one to find him and when I do, I will decide his fate. You people will stay out of my way or I promise you. I will kill you. Naruto and Satsuki then leave, letting Naruto's words sink in as the council members begin to stir. Minato sighs. I knew it was a bad idea to try to pander to Naruto-kun. One of the councilmen spoke up. We had no ill intentions though, Hokage-sama. We simply figured we could try to mend the rift between the civilians and the Uchiha clan. I guess we went about it the wrong way. Minato nods. Since that matter is out of the way, is there anything else we need to cover? Sume, head of the Inuzuka clan, speaks up. How is your daughter's training progressing, Minato? I haven't had the chance to speak to Kushina since we've both been busy. Minato chuckles. She's every bit the hothead Kushina-chan is, Sume. She's so brash and blunt, she even tells me off at times. She's just as scary as her mother. The council laughs. Both the Shinobi Council and Civilian Council love and respect Kushina but are well aware of her temper. They also know not to get on her daughter's bad side since she's every bit as short-tempered as Kushina. Regardless, She's doing very well. While not at the level Naruto-kun is, she's likely mid to high chunin. Sume chuckles. She and Kushina, the wife of Minato, are very close friends. She, Kushina, and Mikoto were teammates at one point and the three share a lifelong friendship. That's good, Minato-kun. I hope your daughter and Naruto remain close friends. Mikoto adds. Minato laughs. I'm not sure I want that, Mikoto. Your son seems like quite the heartache. Excuse me for interrupting the friendly banter, Hokage-sama. A man with a bandaged eye holding a cane adds. Minato narrows his eyes at the man. What do you want, Danzo? Minato doesn't like Danzo and would likely have the man executed for his crimes against humanity if he could find the evidence. But Danzo is a very careful and calculating man. He makes sure that no treacheries he commits could ever be traced back to himself. And his operatives, the Nei, are known to ignite upon death, making sure their bodies could never be examined and minds never be explored. I'd like to know what level you estimate Uchiha Naruto to be at. From what we've witnessed, he can't possibly be a normal academy level student. The council begin murmuring amongst themselves, all talking about how strong they believe Naruto to be. Suddenly, a man with spiky silver hair and sharp eyes speaks up. I also would like to know, Minato. The boy is obviously at least worthy of Junin rank. It's a wonder why he's still in the academy. Minato sighs. I do agree, Tsukumo-san. He definitely has both the power and knowledge worthy of Junin rank. The man, Hitaki Tsukumo, head of the Hitaki clan, nods. Minato continues. In all honesty, I've known Naruto-kun all his life. Obviously, that is due to Mikoto and Kushina's friendship and the fact that he and my daughter are the same age. He's always been a prodigy and he awakened his Sharingan at 5 years old. According to Mikoto and Fugaku, his Sharingan fully developed at age 6 and he awakened his Mangekyo at age 8. The council begins to murmur amongst themselves about Naruto's accomplishments. Danzo asks, so what level do you estimate his abilities at, Hokage-sama? Minato looks at Mikoto and she nods. He clears his throat before answering. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he could fight me evenly. Honestly, I would expect it. The council gasps in shock before talking amongst themselves once more. This time, Inoichi, head of the Yamanaka clan, speaks up. If that's the case, Hokage-sama, why isn't he a Junin? Why is he still in the academy if his abilities are as you say they are? The Shinobi Council all nod in agreement. Minato answers, because he didn't want to gain rank the same way his brother did. I honestly can't speak for Naruto as to why he isn't Junin rank now since he's clearly one of the strongest shinobi in the village. He's extremely intelligent and aware. He even has learned Fuinjutsu from myself and Kushina. This also came as a shock to the council. And what level is he in Fuinjutsu, Hokage-sama? Shikaku, head of the Nara clan, asks. Minato shrugs. I don't know. We taught him up to level 3 and he stopped coming over for lessons. Whenever we saw him afterwards and asked him if he wanted to take any more lessons he would always say, I'm figuring it out on my own, Minato Oji. Thanks though. I simply laughed and shrugged it off and figured he lost interest. Shikaku nods. Mikoto speaks up this time. He still practices regularly, Minato-kun. I've seen him studying and practicing his sealing but he's never told me or Fugaku what level he's at. Minato nods. Well, if he's still practicing, I think it's safe to say we can only estimate him to be at Kushina's level and my own. Sheesh. He's such a scary kid. I'm just happy he's on our side. The council nod in agreement. As Naruto and Satsuki make their way to the academy from the council room, Satsuki wants to make sure Naruto is okay. She pulls him by the hand to make him face her and cups his cheeks between both her hands. Naruto-kun, are you sure you're okay? She asks, the concern evident in her voice and her eyes. Naruto looks at her in worry but he smiles before answering. I'm fine, Satsuki-chan. Thank you for stopping me before I did something stupid back there. Satsuki smiles back at Naruto. That's what I'm here for, Naruto-kun. I would never let you do something you'll regret. The two Uchihas share a warm hug before heading to the academy. Once they enter their classroom, Naruto is swarmed by his two fangirls, Yamanaka Ino and Haruno Sakura. Naruto-kun. They both shout. Naruto-kun, I was so worried about you I wanted to rush over immediately when I heard the news. Ino says. I was worried about you even more, Naruto-kun. I don't know what I'd do if something happened to you. Sakura adds. Shut up, forehead. I was worried more. Ino shouts at Sakura. You shut up, Ino pig. I was the one who was worried most. Sakura retorts. Forehead. Pig. Billboard brow. Tramp. Shut the up, you two whores before I come down there and rip your vocal cords out through your. The two fangirls pale before turning around slowly. Their eyes land upon a cranky red-headed girl who looks like she just woke up from a nap. She yawns in and rubs her eyes before noticing that Naruto and Satsuki had just arrived in the classroom. Oh, hey Naruto. Didn't realize you had come in. At least until the two loudesses announced it to the whole village, she says. Naruto smiles at her. Hey, Tayuya. I'm happy to see you again. Tayuya rests her chin on her palm and smirks at Naruto. Ya miss me, sweet cheeks. She teases. He chuckles. Of course I did, cherry head. Wouldn't know what I'd do without you. Naruto and Satsuki walk up to where Tayuya is sitting. Naruto takes the seat next to her and Satsuki takes the seat to his right. Tayuya turns and looks at him. How ya holding up? I'm good, Tayuya. Besides, you saw me at the funeral. Naruto answers. Tayuya scoffs. I know I did, dummy. Doesn't mean I can't still worry about you. How about you, Satsuki? You doing okay? Satsuki smiles politely. I'm doing good, Tayuya-chan. Thanks for asking about me. But I assure you, there's no need to worry about me or Naruto-kun. We can take care of ourselves. Tayuya chuckles. Oh, I'm sure you can, princess. The two lock eyes with one another. Naruto feels an odd tension in the air and somehow feels a chill down his spine. The rest of the class sweat drop at the interaction between Tayuya and Satsuki. Deciding to break the tense atmosphere between the two, Naruto speaks up. By the way, Tayuya, we saw your dad this morning. Tayuya scoffs. Oh yeah, what did he want? Just council stuff. Civilian council wanted to kiss our all of a sudden. Naruto says. Satsuki notices Tayuya's reaction to mentioning her dad. She decides to ask, do you and your dad not get along, Tayuya-chan? Tayuya shakes her head. That's not it, Satsuki. I love my parents but they can be so overprotective. They're the best parents in the world but you know how it is. Sometimes they can be annoying. Satsuki laughs and Naruto smiles at Tayuya. Tayuya though looks at Satsuki hesitantly before adding, and, I'm really sorry about your parents, Satsuki and your dad, Naruto. I honestly don't know what I'd do without my mom or dad so I can only imagine what you two are going through. Satsuki and Naruto are saddened by Tayuya's words. Naruto decides to speak up. We'll be fine Tayuya. Thank you for worrying about us. Tayuya feels that she might have said too much but smiles at Naruto. She does something that catches everyone off guard. Smirking, Tayuya leans up and kisses Naruto's cheek, stunning Satsuki and leaving Naruto speechless. You're welcome, sweet cheeks. You know I'm always here for you if you ever need anything. She ends with a wink and before either can say anything, Iruka, the class, Chunin instructor, walks in and the lesson begins. Time skip 2 years, Naruto age 16. Naruto, Satsuki, and Tayuya easily passed the Genin exam, Naruto being Rookie of the Year and Tayuya being Kunoichi of the Year, just barely scoring higher than Satsuki, much to her dismay. The Genin test was a simple written exam, a taijutsu contest against a Chunin proctor whom the three each effortlessly defeated, an accuracy test that the three each scored perfectly on, and a jutsu test that covered kawarimi, henge, and bunshin along with three other jutsu mastery of choice. Naruto's three jutsu choices were Kaden, Dragon Fire, Raiden, Lightning Blast, and his Amaterasu. Satsuki chose Kaden, Great Fireball, Kaden, Phoenix Fire Flower, and her Kamui. Tayuya chose Fuden, Cutting Whirlwind, Fuden, Gale Wind Palm, and her Bloodline Adamantine Sealing Chains, the latter which resulted in her scoring higher than Satsuki. About a year after Satsuki awakened her Mangekyo, Mikoto approached Satsuki. She offered to give Satsuki an eternal Mangekyo Sharingan from the eyes of one of the fallen Uchiha from the night of the massacre. After she, Naruto, and Mikoto debated the offer, Satsuki agreed and went to Rin with the idea. She agreed to perform the surgery. After gaining the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, Satsuki's power skyrocketed, now being able to use the power of the Mangekyo with no drawbacks whatsoever. With Naruto and Mikoto's guidance, she was able to master the Tsukuyomi, Amaterasu, Kamui, and her Susanoo. Naruto had been thinking that his and his friends' power levels might bring up some issues when it came to team placements. After weighing the possibilities, he decided to bring the issue to the Hokage since he decides the team placements. Upon reaching the Hokage Tower, Naruto walks in and speaks with the secretary. Hello. He says to get her attention. The woman looks up. Oh, Uchiha-sama, how may I help you today? Naruto groans. The civilians still haven't seemed to grasp how much he hates being addressed so formally. I'd like to meet with the Hokage about something important. Naruto says. The secretary nods. He's actually free at the moment. You may go right in. Naruto nods and walks up to the Hokage office. Upon entering, he finds three clones of Minato handling paperwork while Minato himself is sitting behind his desk, feet up reading an orange book and giggling to himself. Naruto smirks at his surrogate uncle's antics. Yo, Minato Oji. He says. Minato looks up and smiles. Ah, Naruto-kun. It's good to see you. What can I do for you today? He asks. Naruto begins. Well, I was wondering if you could do a favor for me. It's important. Minato widens his eyes slightly at Naruto's sudden request. If it's reasonable, of course. Tell me what you need. I want to be on a team with Satsuki and Tayuya. Minato was actually suspecting this. He sighs before answering. I honestly figured you would want that, Naruto-kun. Honestly, I was thinking about making that team placement anyways. The only problem is team balance. Everyone knows that you're at least on the same level as I am, Naruto-kun. Not to mention how much Satsuki has improved since being more extensively trained by you. According to Makoto-chan, she's at least mid-Junin level. And Tayuya is easily Junin level without using the Kyuubi's chakra. I think a team with you three might honestly be too overpowered. Naruto actually chuckles at this and already prepared a counter-argument. I thought about that too, Oji. But think about this. Wouldn't it better for the three of us, who are so far ahead of the rest of the class, to be on the same team together? While I understand the importance of balance, having someone so far beneath our level on our team would only slow us down. And on the other hand, placing us on teams where the other members are so far beneath our level would only result in us carrying them and either having them gain little to no experience whatsoever or losing the motivation to improve themselves. Minato is surprised at Naruto's deduction and had no choice but to agree. Minato sighs. You're absolutely right, Naruto-kun. I wish I had thought about it that far ahead. I guess I didn't consider just how far ahead you three actually are and how that would affect other students. Naruto smiles, proud of his two close friends. Very well, Naruto-kun. I'll make sure you three are placed together. Naruto smiles. Thanks, Minato Oji. I knew I could count on you. He turns to leave but Minato speaks up. Wait a minute, Naruto. Naruto stops and turns around, surprised at the sharpness of Minato's tone. I'm trusting you with my little girl. But if I find out you hurt her or break her heart, I promise you. Not even Mikoto-chan will be able to save you from me. Naruto shudders at the crazed look in Minato's eyes. He sweat drops and recalls how Tayuya mentioned how overprotective he and Kushina can be. No problem, Minato Oji. I promise that I would never hurt Tayuya-chan. She's just as important to me as Satsuki-chan is. You have my word. Minato nods at Naruto, who turns to leave again. As Naruto closes the door behind him, he pops his head back in again and says, though, should I start calling you, Otu-san, now? 'Cause, you know, I promise I'll take care of her and all. He shuts the door quickly as one of Minato's Hirishin kunai fly towards his head. Damn brat. I swear if you defile my little girl, I'll kill you. As you all have probably guessed, I've gathered you all here to discuss the team placements for this year's crop of genin. Minato addresses the room. He has gathered all the available junin to discuss the team placements for this year. Obvious to everyone present, they were anticipating what Team Naruto, Satsuki, and Tayuya will be placed on. So, in order, Team 1. Team 7 will be Uchiha Naruto, Uchiha Satsuki, and Namikaze Tayuya. The entire room of Junin collectively gasp and all protest. Hokage-sama, that's way too unfair. Those three together are way too overpowered. That's too unbalanced for the rest of the genin teams. Silence. Minato demands, unleashing his killing intent and silencing the room. The gathering of Junin are reminded why he is feared throughout the elemental nations as the most powerful kage in the lands, as just a wave of his killing intent is enough to freeze them in their tracks. Tsukumo approaches and speaks up. If I may, Minato. What made you choose to put the three strongest graduates on a team together? It's tradition to make sure each team is balanced in terms of power and specialization. Minato nods. That's exactly the reason I placed them on a team together. Naruto-kun is the one who brought this to my attention. He himself can fight against me on equal footing and Satsuki and Tayuya are easily Junin level. The three of them are so far ahead of their fellow genin it would be unfair to put them on a team that could not keep up with them. In his own words, it would likely result in that team being carried by them or losing the motivation to better themselves. By putting the three of them together, it is actually as balanced as a team could get for them. The Junin nod in understanding, agreeing that the three of them are freakishly powerful for their ages. Just then, a masked Junin with silver gravity-defying hair speaks up. Sensei, who will their Junin instructor be? Minato sighs. I was actually about to get to that, Kakashi. Due to the skills that they exhibited, I'm making them the first ever full team composed of Tokubetsu genins. They won't have a Junin instructor and they will be able to take on high-ranking missions. In fact, I have the perfect mission picked out for them their first day out the academy. The Junin want to protest but know that it won't do any good. The Hokage is dead set on his decision and trying to change his mind is like trying to yank a tooth from the Kyuubi. They all decide to accept Minato's judgment. That is, until one man steps forward. Minato, if I may. Why don't you let me lead them for a few missions first, just to be safe? I respect your judgment, of course, but you can never be too safe. The room turns to see a tall, slender man with long black hair and slitted eyes. Minato sighs. I would, Orochimaru, but I think this is the best way to gauge Naruto's true abilities. Originally, I planned to ask you or Jiraiya-sensei to lead them but I don't think it's needed. I expect Naruto to one day take the hat so I think he needs all the experience he can get. Orochimaru nods in understanding. Just one more question, Minato. You mentioned that you already have a mission picked out. What is the mission, if we may know? He asks. A bandit camp extermination that also involves 3A rank missing nin and a few B rank. The Junin don't even know what to say anymore. It's like Minato has the utmost confidence in the three of them, or he wants to get rid of them. Are you sure this is wise, Minato? An S-rank mission with this level of danger on their first outing. Orochimaru asks, genuinely wondering why Minato would make such a gamble on 3 fresh genin, regardless of their level of power. Minato nods. I am, Orochimaru. Don't forget, one of these genin is my daughter. But it just goes to show how confident I am in their abilities. I wouldn't make this decision half-heartedly. The Junin nod in agreement. Minato continues on with his team placements. Team 8 will be Inuzuka Kiba, Aburame Shino, and Hyuga Hinata. Junin Sensei, Yuhi Kurenai. The beautiful black-haired woman is happy that she got an ideal team for herself. Team 9 is still in circulation. Team 10 will be Yamanaka Ino, Akamichi Choji, and Nara Shikamaru. Junin Sensei, Sarutobi Asuma. The chain-smoking son of the legendary third Hokage nods. Any questions? Everyone raises their hands. Minato sighs. Any questions not regarding Team 7? Everyone puts their hands down. Dismissed. This year's graduating genin have all gathered for their team placements. Naruto can be found sitting in between Tayuya and Satsuki chatting. Tayuya and Satsuki have both changed and grown more beautiful to Naruto. Tayuya's long red hair now reaches her lower back while also partially covering her face and hiding her left eye. She has an athletic build and D-cup. At 16 years old, Tayuya is considered one of the most beautiful kunoichi in Konoha. She wears a light red sleeveless battle kimono with a black short sleeve form-fitting undershirt. She also wears black combat tights and black tactical sandals. She is also a kenjutsu master and wields her own sword, Benizakura, that was commissioned for her by her mother, Kushina, as a gift for mastering her style. She is considered to be the second Red Death, a name that you never call her to her face or risk losing your head. One thing that makes her even more beautiful to Naruto is that she wants to be known for her own accomplishments and not live in her parents' shadows. Similarly, her best friend rival Satsuki has also grown even more beautiful. Her once short spiky black hair has grown long, reaching down to her mid-back. She keeps it in a ponytail but still keeps short bangs that cover her forehead with 2 long bangs framing her face. She has an elegant, cool air about her, and in Naruto's opinion, he could never tell you who he finds more beautiful, her or Tayuya. Satsuki sports a similar build to Tayuya, strong and athletic but not sacrificing in beauty and femininity. Both have long, slender legs with round hips and slim waists. Naruto also always admires their perfectly shaped round butts and often finds himself fantasizing about them. Naruto knows he's in love with both of them. The only person more important to him than they are is his mother, who he admits is also one of the most beautiful women he knows. Satsuki sports a black sleeveless battle kimono with black mesh armor underneath. She also has black combat tights and black tactical sandals. On her back, she wears her ninjutsu, karasu. Another kenjutsu master, Satsuki and Tayuya also engage in heated kenjutsu spars, although she has never beaten Tayuya. A formidable swordswoman, though Tayuya and Kushina are the only kenjutsu practitioners in Konoha that can defeat her. Naruto and Satsuki have grown extremely close, inseparable even, over the years. Her beautiful long black hair has become Naruto's inspiration for his nickname for her, Kurohana. Naruto also changed a bit. In 2 years, Naruto looks more mature and masculine, his features sharper and more defined and his muscles more developed. He's become the heartthrob of his class and the object of desire for many kunoichi and civilian women in the village. He wears what he usually wore except for the change of a black trench coat instead of his gray jacket. As he was talking with Tayuya and Satsuki, a boy approaches them. "Yo, Naruto," he says. Naruto looks up and greets him. "What's up, Kiba?" he asks. Inuzuka Kiba is the son of Inuzuka Sume, whom Naruto is close to due to Mikoto's friendship with her. Kiba is a boy of average height, about 5 feet 6 inches, spiky untamed hair though not as wild as his mother's, and signature fang marks beneath his eyes which is synonymous with the Inuzuka clan. Just wondering who you think your sensei will be, he says. Probably one of the Hokage's students. Either Kakashi or Obito likely since Rin-ne mostly works in the hospital with Tsunade Bachan and Shizune Nichan when she isn't on missions with Obito. Kiba cracks a perverted grin. Tsunade-sama, man, she's hot even if she's knocking on 50. Naruto chuckles. Be careful what you say, Kiba. Jiraiya might get beat up by Tsunade Bachan regularly but he'll kick you if he finds out you're having fantasies about his wife like that. Not to mention what Ba-chan might do. She might neuter you. Kiba visibly shivers. Damn it, Naruto. Why did you have to put that image in my head? Naruto, Satsuki, and Tayuya laugh. Serves you right, dog breath. It's what you get for looking at my godmother like that. Tayuya laughs. Kiba pouts before sitting down as the trio continued to tease him. As the group continued to socialize, Iruka opens the door to the classroom. Everyone quiets down, awaiting the team placements. Iruka clears his throat before speaking. First off, I'd like to congratulate you all for becoming genin. And there's something you all need to understand. The world of shinobi is nothing glamorous. It is full of death, pain, and suffering. You will see friends die and your death may also come swiftly. Shinobi like the Sandaime Hokage are rare as we almost never manage to reach old age. And even he died protecting the village, sealing the mighty Kyuubi no Yuko inside Tayuya. Prepare to make sacrifices, steel your hearts, and soldier on. You all are no longer children. The moment you put on your Hitai 8 was the moment you chose to walk the path of carnage. I am proud of you all, for I no longer see you as my students. From now on, we are comrades. May the will of fire guide you all. Iruka pauses for a moment to let his words sink in. He then holds up his clipboard and begins to read the team placements. Team 1. Team 7 will be Uchiha Naruto, Uchiha Satsuki, and Namikaze Tayuya. You will not have a Junin sensei but Naruto will be your team leader. The class is shocked and begins to chatter amongst themselves. Kiba speaks up. Sensei, I know Naruto, Satsuki, and Tayuya are strong but why are they given special privileges? That doesn't seem fair to the rest of us. Iruka sighs. I knew this would happen. The reason they are a special team is because the Hokage saw fit to give them each the rank of Tokubetsu Genin. The Genin are confused about what that means. What is that rank, sensei? Ino asks. Iruka answers. Tokubetsu Genin is a rank usually given during times of war to genin who show promise. An example of a shinobi who was given the rank and is still living is the legendary war veteran Hatake Sakumo. The rank allows genin fresh out of the academy to take on high-ranking missions usually reserved for Junin and Anbu. This is the first time a team comprised of all Tokubetsu genin has ever been formed. It serves to show how much faith the Hokage has placed in you three. We expect great things from you all. Naruto, Satsuki, and Tayuya all nod. Iruka continues. Since the three of you do not have a Junin sensei, the Hokage wants you to report to him as soon as I am finished with team placements. Iruka continues with the team placements. Team 8 will be Inuzuka Kiba, Aburame Shino, and Hyuga Hinata. Junin Sensei will be Yuhi Kurenai. Team 9 is still in circulation. Team 10 will be Yamanaka Ino, Akamichi Choji, and Nara Shikamaru. Junin Sensei will be Sarutobi Asuma. Any questions? The entire class, minus Team 7, raises their hands. Iruka sighs. Any questions not regarding Team 7? The entire class puts their hands down. Good luck, Genin. I'm proud to have been your instructor. Iruka walks out of the classroom. After Iruka leaves, Naruto looks at Tayuya who nods and then to Satsuki who nods. The three shunshin out of the room and appear in front of Minato's desk, who waves off the impending attack from his Anbu guards. I was expecting you three. Let's skip the formalities and pleasantries. He grabs a scroll on his desk and tosses it to Naruto, who opens it and reads it. Your first mission is near the border of Hai no Kuni and Takigakure. It's a bandit extermination mission. Naruto narrows his eyes. If it's an S-rank bandit extermination mission, that must mean some missing nin are involved. Minato nods. Correct. From what we've gathered, there are 3 A-rank missing nin and several B-rank missing nin. This is a high-risk mission. I recommend the use of stealth. You may leave when you are ready. But before you leave, Naruto, I have something else I want to say to you. The other 2 may leave. Tayuya and Satsuki look at Naruto. Let's meet at the gate in an hour. They nod and shunshin away to prepare for the mission. Minato and Naruto have a stare down before Minato decides to speak. I'm trusting you on this, Naruto. Don't let me down. Naruto nods. Minato sighs. Good luck, Naruto. You may go. Naruto shunshins to the Uchiha compound. Entering, he finds Mikoto sipping tea in one of the sitting rooms while Satsuki prepares, sealing things into the storage seal on her arm. He approaches Mikoto and sits across from her. Okawa-sama. Mikoto looks at Naruto. I hear your first mission is in S rank. Are you prepared? She asks. Naruto nods. Hi, Okawa-sama. Both Satsuki and I have already had our first kills. We both handled it well. Tayuya said her mother had already made sure she had her first kills as well. I will protect both of them with my life. Mikoto goes to hug Naruto, who hugs her back. I love you, Sochi. Just make sure you come back safe too. Naruto smiles. I love you too, Ka-chan. I promise we'll all come back safe. Naruto goes to prepare to leave and Team 7 meets at the agreed upon hour. Naruto looks at Tayuya and Satsuki. Ready to go? Of course, Naruto-kun. Satsuki answers. You know it, sweet cheeks. Let's get a move on. Tayuya responds. Naruto nods and Team 7 takes to the trees in the direction of Takigakure. It took Team 7 a total of 4 days to reach the location of the bandit camp. It was midday when they arrived, so they took the rest of the day to spy on the outlaws and found that the information gathered was accurate. They took note of where the normal bandits resided and where the missing nin are. As Minato said, there are a total of 3 A-rank missing nin, 2 from Kumogakure and 1 from Takigakure. There are also 4 B-rank missing nin, 2 from Sunagakure, 1 from Kumo and 1 from Konoha. There are between 50 and 70 normal bandits gathered throughout the camp. As the sun was setting, Naruto met with Satsuki and Tayuya. Okay, so I have a plan. Tayuya, I want you to focus on taking out the bandits. We're going in quiet, do not alert the enemy of our presence. Satsuki, you and I are going to use our kamui to assassinate the missing nin. In and out, we kill the missing nin first and assist Tayuya if she hasn't finished up the bandits. Questions. Tayuya and Satsuki shake their heads. Naruto then uses Anbu hand signs to communicate. Use hand signs from here on out. Again, we move silently. Move out. He signs. Naruto and Satsuki activate their Mangekyo and use Kamui to enter into their pocket dimensions. Tayuya takes out the lookouts before moving on to the sleeping bandits. She moves into the camp after she disposes of the bodies of the lookouts and begins systematically entering into tents, her Benizakura claiming the heads of the bandits silently. Naruto appears inside of the tent of the A-rank missing nin from Kumo and wields his kama. He silently beheads them both, collects the heads, and silently casts Amaterasu to dispose of their bodies. He seals the heads inside a seal on his arm to collect the bounties for later. He enters back into his kamui and follows the same process with the Taki A-rank missing nin. Satsuki appears inside the tent where the Suna missing nin are and unsheathes Karasu. She beheads them both and collects their heads and then burns their bodies with her Amaterasu. She does the same for the missing nin from Kumo and Konoha. By the end of the first hour of their operation, Team 7 completely annihilated the inhabitants of the bandit camp. After finishing off the rest of the bandits, Tayuya met up with Naruto and Satsuki. Want to spread out and see what we can find? Naruto asks. The two girls nod and the trio head out to plunder the camp. Satsuki finds the gang's stash of money and she sealed it all into a scroll to share with the team. Tayuya found a lot of scrolls and weapons spread out around the bandit settlement and she sealed them into a scroll to divide among the team. But Naruto didn't find anything he wanted to keep. After burning all the remaining bodies, Team 7 heads back to Konoha to report the success of their first mission. So, you're telling me that you eliminated everyone within the settlement without them even knowing? Minato is speechless. Naruto and his team surpassed his expectations infinitely. He expected them to encounter at least some resistance, but he underestimated the power and skill of his surrogate niece and nephew and his own daughter. Sighing, Minato decides to end the debriefing. Well, good work, Team 7. You'll be paid for an S-rank mission as well as a bonus for flawless completion. You'll also get paid for the bounties on the missing nin as well. How would you all like to divide these bounties though? Naruto speaks up. Divide it evenly among the three of us. Minato smiles. The bounties of the 3A rank missing nin heavily outweighs the bounties of the B ranks. Even still, he's willing to selflessly divide the money evenly between the three of them. Sounds good, Team 7. Now, since you just completed a high-rank mission, you all have the week off. Naruto looks at Tayuya and Satsuki. He knew what they each wanted. Hokage-sama, we'd like to request another mission. Minato looks at Naruto wide-eyed. But, are you three sure? They all nod. Minato sighs. These kids are never short of surprises. Okay, well, let's see what we have. Free captured samurai, hunt down missing enin, assassinate a tycoon, plant false documents, escort a diplomat. All S rank. Which do you want? Naruto walks up and takes the scrolls for hunt down missing enin and plant false documents. See you in a bit, Oji. Naruto says before leaving with Satsuki and Tayuya. Minato smiles. He notices the large stacks of paperwork and shrugs. Summoning 3 shadow clones, they get to work as he kicks back and continues reading his precious orange book. Since the 2 missions involved a lot of traveling, it took a little over 3 weeks for Team 7 to complete the 2 missions they accepted. Minato was, again, blown away by Team 7's flawless performance in the missions, as they were completed with perfect execution. Minato was beginning to understand that he should expect no less from the 2 Uchihas and his daughter. After deciding that they should cool down for a while, Naruto decided to spend more time with his mother. The two went shopping and dined out a few times. Even though she was one of the 3 most powerful kunoichi in the village, Mikoto was still a woman and Naruto knew that. Thankfully, he had a lot of money to spare, so he decided to pamper her a bit. Naruto and Mikoto have always been close, so he was adamant about spoiling her, much to her dismay. She told Naruto that he shouldn't spend his money on her, but Naruto insisted. She eventually gave in and let Naruto take her out. After spending quality time with his mother, Naruto then decided to do some more training and spent more quality time with Satsuki and Tayuya. After their training session, Naruto decided to ask them a serious question. Satsuki, Tayuya, both turned their attention to him. I know I must sound like an for this, but would you two mind if I took you each out on a date? Naruto's request caught them both off guard. They looked at each other and broke out in laughter. Naruto was surprised at their reactions and feared the worst. What's so funny? Tayuya answers for the two of them. You dummy. Did you honestly think we would actually reject you? Satsuki recovers from her laughter. Yeah, Naru-kun. We knew you wouldn't want to choose between the two of us and we wouldn't want you to. Of course we'd love to each have a date with you. Naruto smiled and ran up to them and hugged them both. But then he remembered something important. This is great and all, but who has first date? Naruto asks. Satsuki speaks up. I'll let Tayuya-chan have the first date. Naruto nods and kisses both girls on the cheek. The dates with the girls went off without a hitch. Naruto and Tayuya shared an elegant meal at the Golden Leaf, the most high-dollar restaurant in all of Konoha and the most prominent chain restaurant in the Elemental Nations. The date with Satsuki, however, was a private date in a quiet clearing that overlooked a beautiful lake. The meal was delicious yet humble, a home-cooked meal with the love and tenderness that Naruto possessed. Naruto treasured each moment of both dates and promised both girls all the love and affection he could give. After a week and a half of rest, Team 7 decided to go to the Hokage to take another mission. As they entered, they noted that the Hokage seemed to be expecting them. He also had a serious expression on his face. "What's going on, Tu-san?" Tayuya asked. Minato answers, "I need you all to head to the Land of Waves." Team 8 was sent on an escort mission that was originally AC rank, but they ran into 2 Chunin rank missing nin. That alone increased the difficulty to B rank, but in the message Junin Kurenai sent, she suspects that she'll run into more missing nin along with an unknown number of bandits. The Land of Waves is currently under the control of a shipping tycoon by the name of Gato. He has plunged the citizens there into poverty as well as being guilty of illegal criminal activities such as murder, rape, and human trafficking. Team 7, your mission is to provide support for Team 8 as well as eliminating this Gato and his supporters. This is an A- rank mission and you may likely encounter missing nin. Good luck. Team 7 nods and head back to their respective homes in preparation. They wasted no time and met up at the gates as soon as they were done packing. As soon as they all gathered, they left for the Land of Waves. For a woman, you put up a good fight. Too bad the only thing you're good at is genjutsu. A tall, shirtless man with bandages covering his face wielding an enormous sword shaped like a cleaver says as he looks down at an injured kurenai. She's clutching her left arm, wincing in pain as she is bleeding from a cut inflicted upon her by the man. His name is Momochi Zabuza, A-rank missing nin from Kurigakure no Sato. He is a former member of the Seven Swordsmen of the Mist and is currently employed by Gato to assassinate the man Team 8 was assigned to escort. The other members of Team 8 are occupied by Zabuza's clone. Hinata was guarding the bridge builder, Tazuna, Kiba was injured and unconscious, and Shino was desperately trying to hold off the clone, although the clone wasn't taking the boy seriously. Shit. Is this it? Am I really going to die? I failed them, I failed my team, I failed this country. I failed everyone. Kurenai's thoughts are flooded with doubt and hopelessness. She closes her eyes and prepares herself for her end. Zabuza swings his sword, looking to completely bisect the genjutsu mistress in half. Clang. Kurenai hears the sound of metal connecting with metal. She opens her eyes, surprised that she isn't dead. She looks up and sees the space between her and Zabuza is distorted, and out of the void she sees an arm wielding a scythe blocking the sword that was meant to take her life. She hears a voice coming from the portal. Looks like we made it in time. You okay, Kurenai-sensei? The voice says as its owner seems to walk out of the void. He is tall, standing almost 6 feet, the void behind him disappears to reveal long flowing spiky hair. He wears a long black trench coat and black anbu pants and black tactical boots. His hands are covered in black fingerless gloves. Kurenai cannot see his face, but the man in front of her is striking in stature and she finds herself blushing. Kami. I've never seen a more dashing man, she thinks to herself. And who the hell are you? Zabuza growls out, angry that the boy stopped him from killing Kurenai. Uchiha Naruto. I'm here to kill you and that bastard Gato. He turns his head to look at Kurenai behind him. Are you okay, Kurenai-sensei? Kurenai blushes. My god, his face is even more handsome than I thought. This is Naruto. I never knew he was so. Sensei. Kurenai-sensei. Hello, Kurenai. Huh, what? Did you call me? She's snapped out of her musings by Naruto shouting her name. Zabuza and Naruto sweat drop. You were daydreaming for a good 20 seconds. I asked if you were okay, sensei. Kurenai blushes again even harder. Oh no, I made a fool out of myself in front of this kami of a man. I'm fine, Naruto-kun. Can I leave this to you? I need to get this wound treated. Naruto-kun. Yeah, don't worry, sensei. Just get yourself to safety. He says, giving her a reassuring smile. Oh god, I need to get out of here before I need to change my panties. Kurenai shunshins away with a blush still adorning her face. Naruto turns his attention back to Zabuza. Not bad, Gaki. You actually managed to stop my attack. I guess I have to kill you before I can get to my actual prey. Naruto narrows his eyes at the man. He quickly delivers a kick to Zabuza's sternum, pushing the man back and causing him to lose his balance. Naruto quickly jumps on the offensive, delivering a series of fast, hard-to-read attacks causing Zabuza to barely be able to block. Shit. What's with this kid's speed? I can barely keep up with him. Zabuza thinks to himself. Zabuza tries to attack in between Naruto's swings but quickly finds himself being pushed back. Naruto jumps back and smirks. Zabuza is angry that Naruto appears to be toying with him. Arrogant brat. Don't you dare make light of me. He goes through a series of hand seals. Sweden. Kurigakur no Jutsu. Zabuza summons a cloud of mist to hide himself in. Naruto hears the man chuckling. What are you gonna do now, Gaki? I'm a master of the silent killing technique. Time to meet your end. Zabuza appears behind Naruto and swing his sword to cleave Naruto in half. But instead, his blade bounces off what appears to be a translucent armor. Naruto turns around, his Mangekyo ablaze. Naruto had summoned his Susanoo and swings his sword at Zabuza, who blocks the strike but the impact caused him to go flying backwards, dispelling his mist. Zabuza hits a tree, knocking the wind out of him. Naruto dispels his Susanoo and lifts his kama over his shoulder as he walks towards Zabuza. Getting to his feet, Zabuza prepares to continue the battle but suddenly, 3 Senbon fly towards him. Satsuki appears and blocks them before they could hit Zabuza. The attacker appears and Naruto and Satsuki notice the mask the person is wearing. They are dressed like a hunter nin. From their appearance, they seem to be the same age as Naruto and Satsuki. Why did you stop my attack? Are you helping this man? The hunter asks. Satsuki smirks. Cut the crap. You were watching the fight the whole time. You only interfered because Naruto-kun was about to kill your master. She holds up Karasu. Too bad though. Because I'm not allowing you to interfere. Satsuki lunges at the fake hunter nin. She delivers several quick strikes that the hunter manages to block with Senbon. The dueling pair disappear into the forest, leaving Naruto and Zabuza to finish their battle. Zabuza gets to his feet. Shit. I gotta finish this up quickly and go help Haku. Naruto smirks. Funny. A demon who cares for someone. Naruto and Zabuza stare each other down. A leaf blows in the wind, making its way between the two. Their eyes never leave the others. The leaf floats slowly to the ground. It lands and the two launch at each other. Naruto activates his Sharingan again and quickly gains the upper hand. Each attack he throws is precise and Zabuza quickly notices that small lacerations begin appearing on his arms, legs, and torso. Naruto pushes Zabuza back, he stumbles slightly and Naruto delivers a kick to his abdominal region, launching him backwards. Zabuza struggles to get back to his feet, glaring at Naruto. He stumbles again, and notices how much blood he was losing. What the? I could have sworn I had the advantage. I blocked every one of his attacks, so how am I losing so much blood? As Zabuza manages to get to his feet, he tries to lift his Kubikiribocho but his arms are too weak. He looks back at Naruto, who simply is standing in place. Gritting his teeth, Zabuza begins going through hand signs. Naruto doesn't move. When he finishes, Zabuza calls out, Sweden, Water Dragon Jutsu. A dragon made out of water forms behind Naruto. As it rises, he doesn't move, his Mangekyo never leaving Zabuza. The attack hits Naruto directly. Zabuza sighs and relaxes. Suddenly, he feels a deep gash on his back. Turning, he sees Naruto. Zabuza falls to the ground face first. Naruto slowly walks over to him. Zabuza coughs, blood plastering the bandages over his mouth. He wheezes out, how? I never looked into your Sharingan, so how were you able to cast your genjutsu on me? Naruto chuckles. True. You never did meet eyes with me once my Sharingan was activated. But you know, for certain masters of genjutsu, you never have to meet their eyes. Itachi is one of them. And I'm the other. Zabuza wheezes out a laugh. Right. The Kin Slayer. I take it, you're related to him. Naruto's expression turns serious. I'm his brother. Zabuza smirks. Struggling, he lifts his body up and manages to get to his knees. He glares at Naruto, who is standing directly opposite of him. Satsuki appears beside Naruto and she tosses the hunter to the ground beside her. Zabuza notices the blood. He narrows his eyes at Satsuki. You bitch, he wheezes out. It seems I failed at everything. I never got to free my homeland from Yagura. I failed to kill the old man. I even failed to protect Haku. Zabuza struggles to speak. He looks at Satsuki again. Is she still alive? Satsuki nods. He closes his eyes in relief. He then looks at Naruto. Gaki, kill me, but please, protect Haku. She's all I have left. And give her my Kubikiribocho, she's the only one. I want to wield it. Naruto nods. I promise, Zabuza. As long as I live, no harm will come to her. I honestly wish we met on different terms. You aren't the demon I expected you to be. Zabuza chuckles. You ain't so bad yourself, kid. Now, end it. Naruto nods again. Kama in hand, he approaches Zabuza. He twirls it around and says, may you rest in peace. A final slash ends the demon of the mist. And Naruto catches the head in midair before it hits the ground. A clean slice, the blood never touching Naruto. The headless, lifeless body of Momochi Zabuza falls. Naruto activates his Mangekyo, Amaterasu. He says, burning Zabuza's body. He and Satsuki say a silent prayer before taking Haku's unconscious body and heading back to meet up with Team 8 and Tayuya. At Tazuna's house, Naruto brought Haku to one of the spare rooms. He laid her down on the bed to rest and asked if Hinata could continue healing her and asked Kurenai if she could guard her to make sure she doesn't try to escape before he returned. Tazuna, the bridge builder, lives with his daughter, Tsunami. Tsunami is a beautiful civilian woman. She is a widowed housewife that raises her son, Inari, alone. Her husband, the boy's stepfather, Kaiza, died fighting against Gato. Gato made sure to send a message to the citizens of Wave Country by brutally torturing and killing Kaiza in front of Tsunami and Inari. In Tsunami's words, by the time he finally died, Tsunami didn't recognize him. His grisly death traumatized Inari. Naruto could see that the boy has lost the hope in his eyes. Naruto let Kurenai know that he was going to take the Satsuki and Tayuya with him and investigate the town. When he entered into the village, he noticed the poverty and depression of the citizens. More and more hopelessness everywhere he turns. Children, filthy and malnourished. Some digging through trash to find something to eat. People living in cardboard boxes, and whatever buildings there are can hardly be called habitable. Naru-kun, these people. Satsuki says. I know, Satsuki-chan. We have to help them. He responds. Suddenly, a scream pierces through the air. The trio run to the source, finding a group of 3 men in a dark alley pinning down a helpless woman and tearing her clothes off. Their intentions were clear and Naruto was ready to make them pay. Come on, girlie. I promise you'll like it. One of the attackers says. No. Somebody please help me. The woman screams before her mouth was gagged. There. That ought to shut her up so that we can, before the man can finish, his head was sent flying. The woman's eyes widen and she begins to gag at the sight. Naruto finishes off another one before grabbing the remaining thug by the neck. The man struggles and chokes, but Naruto doesn't let go. He activates his Mangekyo, and after a few seconds, the man goes limp and Naruto drops him to the ground. He looks at the woman who cowers in fear. Naruto's expression softens before he speaks. It's okay, ma'am. I'm not going to hurt you. Do you want us to take you home? She shakes her head. No. It's okay. Thank you, kind savior. She gathers her clothes and holds them together. Getting to her feet, she scurries out of the dark alley. Satsuki and Tayuya approach Naruto. Looking down at the thug at his feet, they see the blank look on his face. Tayuya asks, "What did you do to him?" "I brought him into the Tsukuyomi and tortured him. He gave up where Gato is. Afterwards I broke his mind. Scum like him deserve worse." Tayuya and Satsuki notice the cold expression on Naruto's face. They walk over and hug him. "Calm down, love," Satsuki says. "Yeah, babe, you're scaring us," Tayuya adds. Naruto smiles softly. Wrapping his arms around Satsuki and Tayuya, he says, "Thank you, my loves. I don't know what I'd do without you two. I love you both so much." The trio savor the tender moment. After Naruto gathers himself, he leads the girls to Gato's base. Wielding his Kama and activating his Sharingan, Naruto prepares to cull the souls of these wicked men. First-person view. He just wouldn't stop. Why? He kept stabbing her in front of me, long after she went limp. I couldn't stop him, I just hid in the corner. The next thing I see is him turning, looking straight at me. I couldn't recognize my mother anymore, there's so much blood. Everywhere. The kunai in his hand is caked in blood. He gets to his feet and starts walking towards me. I can't move. I'm too afraid. I keep telling my body to run, but it just won't listen. He's going to kill me, isn't he? He's going to butcher me like my mother, isn't he? Why, father? Why? Suddenly, the door slams open. I see the silhouette of a towering man with a massive blade. He looks around the room and narrows his eyes at my father. He lunges at him, cleaving my father in two at his torso. He sees me cowering. He reaches down, grabs me, and takes me with him. As we leave the village, I close my eyes and rest against his chest. That's right. This is when Zabuza-sama saved me from my father. The day Zabuza-sama became my purpose in life. Clang, clang. I open my eyes and see Zabuza-sama fighting. His eyes, he must be an Uchiha. Suddenly I see Zabuza-sama flying back and strike a tree. Oh no. Zabuza-sama is hurt, he's losing. I need to step in. I throw 3 Senbon aimed at several nerves in Zabuza-sama's neck. The standard plan if Zabuza-sama is in trouble. Damn it. This girl ruined our plan. What? He knew I was watching this whole time. Exclamation mark. Shit. This girl is strong. Zabuza-sama, hang on. I'll be there soon, I promise. This damned girl. She's smiling at me. I'm too weak. Zabuza-sama. My eyes widen. Zabuza-sama is losing too much blood. He can't even lift his blade. No. Zabuza-sama, turn around. The water dragon jutsu didn't land. I see it again. Blood splatters along the ground. The blood of a loved one. Zabuza-sama. Please, don't leave me alone in this world. Tears. My eyes are filled with them once again. Suddenly, the world starts to fade. The last thing I remember is seeing Zabuza-sama's body face down on the ground. If I die, at least let me see Zabuza-sama's face once more. Dream finished. Returning to third person. Zabuza-sama. Haku shouts as she regains consciousness. She looks around and doesn't recognize where she is. She sees one of the girls in the group assigned to protect the old man beside her bed. An enemy. She reaches for her Senbon, preparing to defend herself. Suddenly, a bandaged hand grabs her wrist. She looks up and sees the woman Zabuza was fighting restraining her. She narrows her eyes and grits her teeth. Calm down. We aren't here to hurt you. Haku still doesn't relax. Where am I? And where is Zabuza-sama? She demands. She then notices that both women look away from her sadly. She recognizes their reactions. Her heart breaks. No. Zabuza-sama. Haku cries. I'm sorry. I didn't want this, sweetie, but, Haku cuts Kurenai off. Shut up. You don't understand anything. Zabuza-sama didn't want to do this kind of work, but we needed to raise money for the rebellion. And you people killed him. He just wanted to save his village and you people took him from me. Haku can't hold her emotions. She breaks down crying, sobbing, mourning the loss of her mentor and father figure. Kurenai looks at Hinata and nods. The two leave the room, giving Haku her space. Ga hhhh. Gato screams as Naruto breaks his right leg. Naruto crippled Gato so he couldn't escape. He decided that the best thing to do would be to give him to the villagers and let them decide his fate. He turns as he sees his beautiful girlfriends approaching. He smiles. Did you two clean up this pig's henchman? He asks, pointing at the groaning form of Gato. They nod. Naruto leans in and kisses them both. Good. I gathered all of his assets. I used mikoto Amatsukami to force him to sign his company over. I'll have Tsunami-san take control of it. With the company and the bridge, Wave should be back on its feet in no time. The girls smile at Naruto but notice something. Satsuki speaks up and asks, wait, Naruto-kun. What about the money? He smiles and points to a seal on his wrist. The girls giggle at their boyfriend's sneakiness. Naruto then knocks Gato unconscious and seals him into a scroll. The trio head to the basement. What they find down there makes it hard for them to resist killing the bastard. Women locked in cages are chained against the wall, all hope absent in their eyes. Gritting his teeth, Naruto quickly frees them, wrapping them with cloths and leading them outside the building. Naruto then heads to the village central and unseals Gato from the scroll. He binds his hands and feet and ties him to a post, leaving his fate to the villagers who find him. After returning to Tazuna's house, Team 7 informs them of Gato's demise and the destruction of his thugs. Tazuna and Tsunami celebrate at the news and Inari is in disbelief. As the family celebrates, Kurenai approaches Naruto. Naruto-kun. Naruto is surprised at the affectionate suffix Kurenai uses and decides to play along. Yes, Kurenai-chan. What's wrong? Kurenai blushes and gasps at Naruto's choice of words. Naruto chuckles at Kurenai's reaction. I hope I wasn't gone too long. You didn't miss me too much, did you? Kurenai blushes even harder. Be baka. Don't tease a Junin sensei like that. She crosses her arms and turns away, pouting. But on the inside, Kurenai's heart is pounding. Gosh, why am I reacting like this to him? I have a boyfriend. Even though. I'm sorry Kurenai-san. You're just too cute. I couldn't resist teasing you. Kurenai resists the urge to faint. As long as you understand, Naruto-kun. She says, clearing her throat. I just wanted to let you know that the girl woke up. Haku. Right. She's really torn up by Zabuza's death. I thought I should let you know. Naruto smiles at Kurenai. He decides to push it. As she turns to walk away, Naruto catches her off guard by kissing her on the cheek. She freezes at the gesture. Thanks Kurenai-chan. I don't know what I'd do without you. Naruto walks upstairs, leaving behind a speechless Kurenai and two giggling girlfriends. Be baka. Naruto stops outside the room he laid Haku in. He almost opens the door before he hears sniffling and whimpering. He didn't realize how much Zabuza meant to the girl. He opens the door and walks in, knowing that if he knocked he wouldn't get a response anyways. On the bed he sees Haku with her head buried in her knees. She looks up and Naruto sees her eyes are puffy and red from crying. Naruto looks at the girl solemnly as she glares at him. Murderer! She spits out with venom in her voice. Naruto begins, I'm sorry, he dodges a pillow flying at his head. You murdered him. How dare you tell me you're sorry? You don't understand anything. She lunges at Naruto, Senbon in hand. Naruto catches her wrists and pulls her into a hug. Haku struggles to try to get out his grip, to no avail. Let me go, murderer. I swear I'll kill you and then I'll kill myself. She shouts. Haku, calm down. I'm sorry. I swear I mean it. Just listen to me. Naruto feels Haku begin to relax in his grasp. He hugs her tighter. Before Zabuza died, he asked me to protect you. Haku gasps. She is shocked that Zabuza would request such a thing. I swore to him I would. Haku, live your own life. You are your own person. Live for yourself. Live for me. Do what you want. Live how you want. Don't give up hope. For me, for Zabuza. For a moment, Haku is silent. Suddenly, she asks, why did you kill him? Naruto doesn't know how to answer. He doesn't know why he killed Zabuza. He could have easily overpowered and restrained him, but he didn't. Because I'm a murderer. I can't tell you honestly why I killed him. In all honesty, I could have restrained him. But I didn't. I killed him. I deserve your hatred. Haku grits her teeth and tries to attack Naruto again. Naruto on the other hand pushes her down and restrains her, pinning her to the bed. Listen to me. Calm down and listen. Haku pants, tears in her eyes. You bastard. I swear I'll kill you. She says through heavy breaths. Naruto looks into her eyes, seeing her pain. Haku stops resisting and he raises a hand to her face, stroking her cheek. I can't apologize enough about taking away someone precious to you. But I can promise you that as long as I live, no one will harm you, he says. Haku narrows her eyes at Naruto. I won't fall for your lies, you monster. Naruto cracks a small smile. I wouldn't lie to you. Not to a face as beautiful as yours. Haku grits her teeth. That doesn't forgive the fact that you murdered my master, someone you could have spared. You monster. Naruto frowns. What about all the people Zabuza killed? The men he took from families. They all felt the same way you did, if not worse. And other than mentorship, he gave you a life on the run. A mercenary lifestyle. Haku-chan, you never truly lived your life. You don't know the feeling of family and friends, experiencing the world with your own eyes. You only saw what he showed you. Haku-chan, let me give you a chance to do what you truly want in your life. I won't take that away from you or let anyone else take it from you. Come live with me and I promise you a life of happiness and comfort. Haku's tears couldn't be contained. She starts openly crying. You bastard. What do you know? Naruto gets down closer to her face. I know a lonely woman when I see one. I know emptiness and pain. I know that what you truly want is to feel the warmth and love of another, the comfort of a family. I will give that to you, Haku-chan. Just trust me. Haku sniffles and whimpers. Bastard. I won't trust you. Naruto feels a tightening in his chest. The sight of her beautiful face with tears flowing from her eyes and her soft gentle lips make Naruto do something he never thought he'd do. He leans down and captures Haku's lips with his own. Unbeknownst to Haku, a certain black-haired Junin observed the whole scene outside their door. She began pleasuring herself while watching Naruto give Haku what most women desire, an animalistic that drowns them in pleasure. Naruto, though, knew she was there the whole time. He purposefully put their copulation on display for her to see. He wants Kurenai to know that this is what she's in for. And Kurenai hopes to get a taste of this man amongst men for herself. Over the next 2 weeks, Naruto and company helped Wave get back on its feet. Naruto, Satsuki, and Tayuya made many clones to help build houses, orphanages, and shelters. Kiba and Shino went out hunting and gathering to give food for the people of Wave. Haku and Hinata helped treat the sick and wounded. The atmosphere around Wave lifted with the death of Gato and his goons, and people began calling Naruto the hero of Wave. Naruto also began helping Haku open up. She became less reserved around Team 7 and Team 8, befriending everyone and getting closer to Naruto. She forgave him for killing Zabuza and became quite attached to Naruto. Kurenai also struggled with her feelings. At 22 years old, she couldn't believe how easily this 16-year-old boy could get her flustered. It wasn't much more than simple flirting and teasing, but Kurenai hated being led on by Naruto. Although she admittedly finds him unbelievably attractive. And if that pounding he gave Haku was anything to go by, then she would undoubtedly find herself addicted to the Uchihas. Haku took over a week to recover from she couldn't get out of bed the next morning, and afterwards, her limp was so bad she had to cling on the edges of furniture to hold herself up. It was an established fact that Naruto is a kami in bed. Kurenai would often find Naruto helping the elderly people of Wave with yard work or groceries. She'd spot him playing with the children, mostly orphans of the Wave who lost their families to Gato. The scenes would make Kurenai smile at the gentle demeanor that he can show while also being a fierce fighter and cunning strategist. Kurenai's favorite scenes, however, were those where she would find Naruto working up a sweat, building houses or plowing a field. She would develop a large blush, biting her lip and rubbing her thighs together at the shirtless kami, skin glistening with sweat, muscles rippling with every movement. Kami, he's so much more muscular than Asuma, so masculine, so. Kurenai would often have to fight back the urge to jump the mighty Uchiha and take him in the middle of the day. As reconstruction ends, Team 7 and Team 8 have gathered at the bridge Tazuna has built, preparing to leave for Konoha. Every citizen of Wave gathered to bid their heroes and liberators farewell. We can't thank you enough for what you each have done for us. All of you are more than welcome to come back any time. Tsunami says. Thank you, Tsunami-san. I'll be sure to give the Hokage these alliance papers. Naruto says with a smile. Tsunami blushes. Be sure to come back and visit, Naruto-kun, she says with a teasing grin. Naruto chuckles. I will. I promise. As Team 7 and Team 8 leave, Tazuna speaks up. I guess we need to think of a name for this mighty bridge, wouldn't you say? Tsunami smiles. The Bridge of Heroes. Without our heroes, we would still be under Gato's rule. Tazuna chuckles. I do agree with that. The Bridge of Heroes it is. All of Wave celebrated as Tsunami, the new Wave daimyo, declared this day Heroes' Day in dedication to the shinobi who freed Wave country from the tyrannical rule of Gato. Well done, Team 7 and Team 8. I'll be sure to pay you all well for the completion of this mission as well as assisting in rebuilding Wave. I'm proud of you all. Minato says after receiving the report from Kurenai and Naruto. Hi, Hokage-sama. Naruto and Kurenai say in unison. Minato smiles. And by the way, I wanted to ask if you each believe that your teams are ready to be promoted to Chunin. Naruto smiles. Of course I do, Oji. I actually believe I'm ready to take that hat from you right now. Wanna see if that's true? Naruto teases. Minato fights down the urge to shiver. Naruto-kun, show some respect to Hokage-sama. Kurenai scolds Naruto-kun. Minato laughs. Don't worry about that, Kurenai. He always jokes with me like this. Trust me, I'd rather not find out. Naruto laughs as Kurenai looks at Minato in surprise. Hokage-sama doesn't actually want to fight Naruto-kun. Does that mean he actually isn't confident that he can beat Naruto-kun? I remember him saying that, but I just thought he was exaggerating. Just how strong are you, Naruto-kun? Kurenai thinks to herself. Well, Junin Kurenai, do you think your team is ready? Kurenai looks at Team 8. She notices that instead of their normal, confident selves, they actually look worried. She smiles gently. Turning to Minato, Kurenai answers, No, Hokage-sama. I think my team needs more time to grow. Like I explained in my report, if not for Team 7 intervening, we would have died. I'd like my team to enter the Chunin exams when they're ready. I don't want to send them in unprepared. Minato smiles and nods. Well said, Kurenai. There's no shame in admitting that you are not ready. Many shinobi die from being overconfident. Take all the time you need. Team 8, dismissed. Kurenai and Team 8 bow and exit the room. Naruto watches as Kurenai leaves. Turning, he sees Minato take out some papers. He hands them to Naruto, who hands a sheet to Tayuya and Satsuki. They each fill out the form and hand it back to Minato. As Minato calls his secretary in and gives her the papers, he turns to Team 7. I don't think I need to tell you all this, but I will anyways. Be careful, especially you, Tayuya. I'll say this in front of everyone. You're my daughter. If anything happens to you, your mother and I will be devastated. Watch each other's back during this exam. And good luck. May the will of fire guide you all. A few weeks went by and Team 7 completed a few more missions. Haku moved into the Uchiha compound, much to the excitement of Mikoto. She was given a chunin rank by Minato and started working in the Konoha hospital under the direct tutelage of Tsunade, who was impressed by her already impressive talent in medical ninjutsu coupled with her water affinity and precise chakra control. Team 7 grew closer as well. Satsuki and Tayuya accepted Haku as one of Naruto's women. Naruto took Satsuki and Tayuya on several more dates and enjoyed all the time he could spend with them. He loved them both dearly. Their training has been coming along, too. Tayuya mastered the Rasengan and began adding elemental chakra to it, much to the surprise of Minato, who never was able to complete it. Minato also wanted to teach Tayuya the Hiraishin, but she refused. Satsuki began practicing her lightning release and experimented with the principle of the Rasengan Tayuya was learning. The result was remarkable. Satsuki, instead of creating a Rasengan, learned to coat her arm in elemental chakra. Minato witnessed this and stated it was similar to his student, Kakashi's, Chidori, except that he has to charge with it and that it was named Chidori for the sound it makes, which sounds like birds chirping. Satsuki's version is completely silent and she's able to use other elements besides lightning. She named it Urinage. After another intense training session, Naruto decided to take his teammates to grab some lunch. After their meal, the trio leave and are strolling down the street. You brat! Watch where you're going! They hear someone shout from down an alley they passed and thought someone was in trouble. Running to the scene, they find Sakura and Ino standing off against a pair who seemed to be from Suna. There was a guy wearing a strange cat outfit with makeup on and a large object strapped to his back. He was holding up the Sandame's grandson, Konohamaru, whom Naruto was acquainted with. Behind him was a girl who was very beautiful to Naruto. She had sandy blonde hair tied up in 4 pigtails, she wore a violet battle kimono and had a large fan strapped to her back. Naruto noticed her serious expression, which accented her beautiful features. Let him down. It was an accident. Sakura shouted at the guy in the cat suit. Shut up, bitch. I'm gonna teach him that he needs to watch where he's going. He responds. Naruto narrows his eyes. He hates when women are disrespected, especially a friend or loved one. Drop the brat, Kankuro. You're making a fool of yourself. The blonde-haired girl with pigtails says. You shut up too, Tamari. This is my business. Sick of watching, Naruto acts. Quicker than the 4 could see, Naruto is behind Kankuro, the blade of his kama held to his jugular. Tamari and Kankuro are stunned while Ino and Sakura are elated. Naruto-kun, they say in unison. Naruto smiles at the two. Hey girls. You both are looking beautiful today. His 2 favorite fangirls squeal in delight. Naruto turns his attention to Tamari. You're looking beautiful as well. Tamari was it. It's a fine pleasure to meet you. Tamari is shocked at Naruto's forwardness. She blushes slightly but decides to play it cool. Placing a hand on her hip and striking a sultry pose, she responds. Well, you're a handsome one. It's a pleasure to meet you, too. What's your name? She asks. Uchiha Naruto. I'm guessing you 3 are here for the Chunin exams. Hopefully we'll get to know each other in the meantime, he says with a wink. Tayuya and Satsuki smirk while shaking their heads. Can't resist a hot chick, can you, sweet cheeks? Gotta have 'em all, huh? Tayuya jests. Naruto laughs. Of course he does, Tayuya-chan. He's already got us in Haku-chan and he's looking for more. Satsuki smirks. Ino noticed Naruto's words. What do you mean by the three of them, Naruto-kun? There's only two. Naruto turns his attention to a tree in the distance. I'm talking about the chick who looks like she wants to kill Tayuya-chan. I feel the killing intent she's directing at her. Wonder why she doesn't wanna come down here and play. The girl takes notice and appears near them in a sand shunshin. Naruto takes in her appearance. She has blood-red hair in a ponytail that hangs down the front of her left shoulder, a red long-sleeve battle dress that exposes her left leg, black Anbu-style pants underneath, black sandals, and a large gourd on her back. She also has turquoise eyes and a tattoo of the kanji for love on her forehead. Holy shit, she's hot. Naruto thinks. Tayuya smirks. You're staring, babe, she says. Naruto snaps out of it and turns to her, rubbing the back of his head and laughing awkwardly. Sorry, Tayuya-chan. You know how it is. Tayuya rolls her eyes. Kankuro, though, looks scared to death. Gee Gaia. I'm sorry. Shut up before I kill you, Kankuro. You're an embarrassment, she says in a voice that could freeze a river. She turns to Naruto. I apologize for my brother's behavior. Naruto sighs and secures his kama to his back. Smiling, he says, no worries. I'm Uchiha Naruto, that's Tayuya and that's Satsuki. He says, pointing to each respectively. The girls nods. Gaia no Sabaku. These are my siblings, Kankuro and Tamari. Naruto nods. Walking up to her, he takes her hand and kisses her knuckles. Gaia's eyes widen and her siblings look on in fear that Naruto might get killed. It's a pleasure to meet such a beautiful desert rose. I look forward to meeting you and your sister during the exams. Take care of yourselves. He gives his most charming smile and walks away, leaving the Sand siblings to look on in wonder. Tamari nudges Kankuro with her elbow. Hey, she whispers, Gaia didn't attack him. He actually approached her without dying. And he even kissed her hand. Kankuro whispers back, I know. What the hell, why is he so good at picking up girls? Tamari hits Kankuro over the head with her fan and stomps away. Dumbass. That isn't what I meant. She growls as she leaves. The siblings failed to notice that Gaia hadn't moved from her spot. She simply stared on as Naruto and his two girlfriends walked away. She is confused. Nobody has ever given her the feeling she has now. It's a strange and alien feeling. Uchiha Naruto, I must learn more about you. Panting fills the room. It's hot and humid, the pungent smell of sweat and musk is heavy in the air. Grunting and moaning echoes in the room along with the sound of flesh smacking. Tayuya is currently bent over on Naruto's bed as Naruto pounds her from behind. Satsuki is laying on her back, panting as Naruto continues to slam his massive member inside of Tayuya's vagina. Satsuki speaks up. So, you like those two sand girls, huh Naru-kun? She smirks at her Adonis. Naruto's rippling muscles are covered in sweat, his black hair is a bit more frizzled and wild-looking. He smirks. Yeah, the Jinchuriki is hot. I want her bad. Plus her sister shit, Tamari right. She's pretty hot too. He smacks Tayuya's, making her moan hard and tighten up. He then takes his thumb and presses it into her asshole. Baby. God. I love this. Tayuya shouts. Satsuki chuckles. So what? You gonna go for them? Add them to your little harem too. She twirls some of her hair and crosses her legs. Naruto pants out as he thrusts even harder inside his red-headed lover. Yeah, I want them both. You two won't mind, right? I won't do it if you two don't approve. You two come first. Satsuki giggles again. She leans up and wraps her arms around her lover and pulls him into a deep, passionate kiss. Of course I don't, Koi. Just make sure you don't forget us. Otherwise, we'll kill you. Naruto grins and captures her mouth in another hot kiss. You know I won't, babe. Naruto continues thrusting inside Tayuya until he feels his climax coming on. He then pins her done prone to the mattress, grabs a fistful of her beautiful red hair and thrusts deeply inside her, pressing his tip directly against her womb. Ah, fuck. He comes deep inside of her, his semen flooding her womb. Tayuya screams out and digs her nails into the bedsheets. Her orgasm sends electricity through her body, she squirts and soaks the already damp sheets from earlier again. After Naruto finishes his climax, he pulls out and rolls to his side, panting. Tayuya lays on his bed limp, fainted from the pleasure. Naruto and Satsuki look at each other. Wanna go again? Naruto asks. Satsuki doesn't answer. She just jumps on Naruto's lap and straddles him. The sound of flesh